Well, Ethos. Who would think about that but Jason at Energy Thought Summit? I spent the last few days thinking deeply about it. If you do, you realize it's the true call of the action that we need to do at the root of all that we've been talking about. And by the way, look at this. I mean, if that does not inspire you to reimagine the future, I don't know what would. A little bit about me, beyond what Jason said. I have been the Chief Executive Officer of Electric Power Engineers until a month ago. My own ethos has led me to change to Chief Vision Officer and hand over the reins of operation of the company to someone else. More about that later to inspire you some more. About Electric Power Engineers, Electric Power Engineers is a consulting firm in power systems. I have grew this company over the last 20 years from 3 people to 433 as of last week, 78% of which are power systems engineers. We live and breathe this industry. Our goal and our work with our customers is to provide solutions to most complex problems that we see in the industry, from renewable integration to everything related to integrated systems planning, to grid modernization, what have you. We do this with one focus: resiliency, reliability, affordability, and the welfare of our customers. Our customers, we work with you, our clients, on everything that they need from us, whether it's the data centers, whether it's electrification needs, whether it's rates, whether it is affordability. We're all in the trenches doing that. And we are seeing a massive change in the way our customers are behaving or want us to be. All right. Need to move forward. All right. So where are we today? Just setting the stage, and I promise you I'll spend a lot of time on the customer side. Setting the stage, look, we have built what we have today based on an ethos that had front and center delivering electricity to our consumer. We called our customer consumer back then, because when we formed this grid and everything around it, we had a customer that only consumed electricity, therefore consumer. That is a huge change that we're talking about in every conversation today. As you see here, from a bulk power system we all talk about with one-way street, predictable customer load needs, consumption, to a customer that actually generates electricity, delivers it to the grid, the least to say, more on that later. So we are faced with a major change in what our ethos should be. And to me, what is ethos? It is really a set of principles, and it's likely what it says on the ETS website, set of principles and processes and relationships that we develop to deliver something that is very meaningful. And what is more meaningful than electricity? It's one of the most important commodities in the world. Without it, nations fall to their knees. Not only without it, if it's not available or it's not affordable, nations do fall to their knees. So not only our ecosystem is changing, I will not spend a lot of time on this one, but I wanna make it clear that there are other changes happening. There is a lot of pressure on this industry. We've got a changing landscape of the customer use that we're talking about today, but we also have load growth that everybody understands and knows and talking about in ways that we haven't seen for 30 years. We also have supply chain pressures, climate change, cybersecurity, We have technologies that we're adopting that we don't understand, that we never had before on the grid. We have pressure on our electric grid, our bulk power system in thinning capacity. We don't have a lot of capacity. We have aging infrastructure, which is resulting in a lot of needs that all of us together, everything we talk about revolves around these needs and pressures. So how do we go about together solving for the ecosystem and solving for these rising needs? It all starts by looking at our customer behavior. We wouldn't be here if we didn't have a customer. So our customers, wow, okay, let's talk about data centers. Everybody's talking about them, but let me bring you the engineering side of it. They're not only huge, they're as huge as a city, New York City, for example. Well, it took us many, many, many years, tens of years, to build the electric grid around a city using the same electricity as a data center. How can we expect our utilities and our current systems to be able to deliver our bulk power system needs to serve this massive electricity need? And data centers, by the way, work differently. You know, we're not used to seeing large loads in one big block industrial customer doing that. Talk about the residential customers. We've been talking about that for a long time, but it's important to paint the picture. Our customer at home, they have the solar panels, they have the electric vehicle, not all of them, but they want to, I want to, the battery, the generator behind the meter, they want to be in charge. Talking about our industrial customers, a lot has changed there. Look at the three pictures on the right. Here at our home state, Texas, okay? We have Buc-ee's. They're putting generation behind the meter for 24/7 electricity so that their lights never go out in case of emergency or when the grid fails. We have Walmart doing the same. H-E-B has started building microgrids around their system since 2016. If AI is right. But it's been a long time as well that they started doing that. They're getting to a point where they're extending their microgrid, their ability to stay on to the community, right? To the dispatchers. That's a big deal. It tells us what our customers want. Our customers not only want, but are a little scared. They're taking charge. They want to do this, and they can do this because the technology is there. And the affordability in many cases of doing it at home, at the customer's home, has become significantly much less than it used to, and in many times less expensive than doing this through the bulk system. And we've got to open our eyes. These are indicators telling us change is happening in a system that was designed in a very different way. So what does that tell me, going back to the ethos side? Okay, customer, used to be a consumer, you became a prosumer, which is someone who's using and generating electricity. You want to adopt every single, including me, you know, an EV and every single thing at your home or at your facility as a CNI. And then what is your obligation? You're almost becoming a utility. Are you a stakeholder? For me, this is the ethos we need to define. We need to redefine who we are to the energy. What do we play? What do we do? Do we take on that deeper sense of understanding that we all need to put skin in the game if we want a future for our grandkids? And to our utilities, you know, we still need to deliver reliable, affordable, and electricity and resilient to our end customer. But how is that going to look like? Are we not worried about the capital efficiency in what being spent? Are we sure that we are ready to take on these consumers, microgrids, and solutions on the back end? Are we doing it within the realm of parameters and definitions that allow us to do this efficiently? You know, I think we are. We heard earlier from Brian Hennigan was here. I don't know if he's still here, but they're doing great things at Holy Cross. But I want to take an example of something close to home. In February, there's one slide that shows Entergy gas generator. Entergy, the Public Utility Commission of Texas, February 20, passed unanimously the Power Through program of Entergy. What is that Power Through program? And Entergy is very proud of it. Is to be, I'm looking, sorry, at the time. I think I have 5 minutes more, hopefully. Entergy got this passed with the Public Utility Commission. Power Through is providing to their customers a generator, predominantly gas, as a backup generator. And it is going to cost the customer less than they would if they did it by themselves. They're providing that, they're installing it, they are maintaining it, they are taking care of it, and the customer pays a monthly fee. That is a change in Ethos, right? This is something we never did before. In the bulk power system, when we were serving consumer, we never went behind the meter, behind the premise of our customer and even our industrial customer. This is telling us it's time to change the way we work together. And I keep asking myself every day, are we doing it right? Should the customer be doing that on their own and developing their own microgrids and backup generation? Should the utility extend itself to be there? I think the true answer is not in whether who should do it and where the money goes, is what is the right thing for the future, for our grandchildren, to make sure we keep electricity affordable and reliable and available. We do it for our nation, and we must arrive to the right conclusion there, and I don't think we know yet that answer. So this takes me to talk about my favorite thing, the grid of grids. What I want to say that what we looked at shows the customer moving in direction, capability to do things, desire to do things, intersecting with what utility is doing. That is a lot. This is in itself, I do have goosebumps just talking about that. It's clear. It's clear to me. We've got to go and solve this holistically. I call the grid of grids, what is it? It is no longer a bulk power system delivering electricity from one end to the other. It's a set of flexible microgrids that work together in order to provide the flexibility, the affordability, and the resiliency we need. Yes, we still need transmission. Yes, we need to still build generation, but we've got a lot of flexibility on the grid edge and inside our customer premises. We've got technology that we must use. But the real trick here, you can say, well, let it happen. No, we can't just let it happen. We have to define it. Because if we don't, we will overinvest in different parts of the system because our regulatory, our cost structures, our markets, our processes and systems of the way we work with our customer as a utility and the way the customer expects from themselves and from the utility has changed. And we've got to go back to the drafting table and define all that. So if you know that saying, I just didn't want to say like I am pretending to be Albert Einstein, but he said that in a different way. We cannot transform the systems that serve our customers with the same thinking we had when we created them. And that's when I say we need to go to the drafting table. We owe it to our grandchildren. So I have a call of action here, back to the ethos of me and the grid. Sometimes I think my DNA is that of the grid. Again, back to transitioning to Chief Vision Officer. It is a time in my life that I realize these issues are big. They're emerging more and more, and they are more critical every day. I wanted to dedicate all my time and all my energy to work with thought leaders to actually lead this transition and help move the needle. You know, in year 2000, or around that time, all industry thought leaders, all stakeholders, technology got together and defined how we look like today. This is happening again. It's going to continue to happen. It's the evolution. It just seems more pressing, or at least that's how I feel, because I'm in the middle of it. I was in 2000, but I wasn't in the position I'm in. So sitting here today, I am, as Chief Vision Officer of EPE, I am energized and thrilled to be able to dedicate my time to lead and work with you, stakeholders, to define how this is supposed to happen, how to actually take the reins of how the grid of grids is evolving. So with that said, if you're interested in helping me dedicate my time to actionable results, please talk to me after this. Thank you.